Hey friends, this is Wendy. Thanks for being here today. We are going to be using some Concord and Ninth products today that I have gotten recently. I've got the Boot Cut Stamp and Dies and the Delightful Day Turnabout. So we're going to start with using the Turnabout stamp, and we're using the larger Misty in this video. For part of this video, and then we'll use a mini Misty. So I'm just going to be totally transparent with you. This is not how you use a turnabout stamp. I used this 2 or 3 times trying to figure it out. Finally, I went and watched a video. I don't have all the necessary items I need to make a turnabout. So to do a turnabout stamps or piece. So you see me wiggling around my little sheet here that I've put my paper on. It's because I'm trying to get everything lined up correctly. And then you can see at the bottom of this cardstock that it is left empty, and then there's adhesive on my little guide. It was just kind of a mess. The problem was I did not have a turnabout jig. So that's on my list of things to get. And then I'll be able to use those turnabout stamps better. So here I'm just die cut all these pieces from this cute boot, and I'm ink blending everything. And yes, this video is sped up exponentially because the video is 2 hours long. Ink blending just takes a long time, and then I really struggled with the turnabout because I didn't have the right equipment. And so I am going to be ordering that. Concord and Ninth is partnering with Christina Werner. I don't know if you've seen this information, but we're still going to use this panel, by the way, even though it's not just right. We'll get to that. So we're going to assemble the boot, and then we'll come back to that panel. We're going to make 2 different cards. So Concord and Ninth is going to be partnering with Christina Werner, and Christina Werner is going to have her own line of products at Concord and Ninth, and I'm super excited about that. I am not currently an affiliate with Concord and Ninth. I'm hoping that changes soon. I have put in a request, so I'm just waiting to hear from them on that. So if you shop for Concord and Ninth products through me, there is no affiliate anything, but I'm still going to use their products because I really, really like them. And so their ink is one of my favorite inks. It's really juicy and supple, and it's beautiful for ink blending and for stamping. And that is something that I really enjoy. So here I used some layering die cuts from Honeybee Stamps to get oval, and I didn't have any of the cardstock that matched this ink color. This is Rainforest ink. So I just went ahead and ink blended the edges of a white piece of cardstock, and voila, I have what I need. So I'm going to use the Happy Birthday sentiment on this card, and I'm going to use a Spellbinders embossing folder to emboss this piece of cardstock with those cute little hearts and lines. And then we're going to glue this down and add the boot to the top with dimensionals, and then add the Happy Birthday sentiment. I don't know why my camera was bouncing around right here. I apologize. So we're adding the boot, and then we're going to add the sentiment. I used Pebble and Cobblestone to ink blend the bottom part of the boot, and the top of the boot is blended with Powder and Rainforest from Concord and Ninth. The flowers are blended with Eucalyptus for the greenery, and then Wild Berry, and I cannot remember the name of the other color. I will link to all the products below the video. There's a link that says supply list and a link that says blog post. You can go to either of those, and the supplies will be listed there. So why am I making a happy birthday card? This video is going to really be focused on some story time, but I just have to get through a few things for these cards. So this is a little piece of white cardstock that I colored with the Rainforest ink pad. I just laid this piece of cardstock down, took my Rainforest ink pad, and ran it over the top. Then I had to wait a really long time for this to dry all the way, and I heat set it. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get it perfectly positioned without using the sticky mat from my Sweet Petunia. So I used the sticky mat in my mini Misty. You're seeing me use multiple Misties in this video. I used my sticky mat with my mini Misty and the Happy Birthday sentiment. Sorry about my hair in the way there. I needed to get this lined up perfectly over that teeny tiny piece of cardstock. This is why it's so important to have the sticky mats. There would have been no way for me to hold this little tiny piece of paper in place to stamp on it. And I really didn't want to waste it. So I just put my sticky mat inside my mini Misty, and then I was able to hold it in place while I stamped. The sticky mats come in a 3-pack, so you really get a lot of bang for your buck. They are different grid patterns, but they all work great. Here I'm using some Altenew double-sided tape to put this in place. And then I realized, oops, I don't need adhesive or double-sided tape. No, foam tape. Words are hard. I didn't need foam tape over the boot. So I had to cut that back away and pull it off, and it tore my paper a little bit, but it was fine. There is a fly in the video. Welcome to country living. I live in the country. I have chickens. You know, what can I say? Cows are nearby. So I apologize for the fly that flies into the video a couple of times here. I love my precision glue press because I can just angle it and put it underneath something like this and glue it down. I get asked questions about the precision glue press off and on. I absolutely love it. You see me use it in pretty much every video. I have heard that it's fantastic for people who have arthritis. My friend Lisa uses it and she loves it for that purpose. It is back in stock, FYI. The precision glue press has been out of stock for a while and it's back in stock. So if you want one, grab one. I'll link to it below the video. Here, I just cut another oval the same size, and I'm going to score the top, and then we're going to add some adhesive and put this together, and we have a really cool oval shaped card. All right, we are going to jump into story time because it has been a long time since I've just been able to chat with you guys, and this video or these cards are for my Misty design team. Requirement. However, I don't have to make a video for that. It's just, I just do it every month because I enjoy making a video and I always want to show you guys what I make. So if you do want to see my cards over on the My Sweet Petunia blog, you can, because they will be over there. So I made this card today for my daughter. Today is my daughter's 16th birthday. If you're watching this in September, beginning of September, it's her 16th birthday. And I cannot believe I have a 16-year-old. I don't know where the time went. I don't know where it goes. It just flies. She is driving. She'll get her license later this month. And I'm just going to tell a little funny story about her. So she could have gotten her license like on September 3rd. However, when you get your permit, in California, you have to wait 6 months after you get your permit, after you pass your permit test. In between the 6 months, you have to take 3 driver's ed classes and you have to drive with your parents. So she's been driving with us. Well, anyway, let me not get too far ahead here. So the first time we went to take her driver's test, the written, she fails it. We get in the car. Me and my husband both went because it's a rigmarole. You have to sign all these papers, blah, blah, blah. So we get in the car and she's like, I knew I was going to fail the test. And I said, how did you know you were going to fail the test? She goes, because I've been taking all the practice tests online and I failed them. And I said, well, haven't you been studying? Yes. I said, I don't understand. I'm confused because I had been asking her, are you studying for the tests? I go, are you reading that? Have you read the handbook? She says to me, people, what handbook? I'm like, Macy, my dear darling girl, there is a handbook you have to read. Like, you can't just, it's not a wing and a prayer situation. You have to read the handbook. So she reads the handbook, and a couple weeks later, we take her back to DMV. This time I just went by myself since we had all the other paperwork finished. And she passes the test, no problem. Okay, so she gets her driver's permit. So she's been driving with us since March. So because she went a couple weeks later, she has to wait now a couple weeks later to get her license because it has to be 6 months after the day that you get your permit. So she's been driving with us. She does pretty good most of the time. We haven't had any, we've had a couple close calls. I'm not going to lie. There's been a couple close calls that have made my rear end pucker up. I'm going to tell you that right now. But overall, she's done pretty well. She struggles a little bit with knowing what to do in certain situations, or knowing if cars are coming in the other direction, if she has time to turn or not. So sometimes she'll sit somewhere a little bit longer than she should, which I don't mind. I would rather her do that and err on the side of caution than trying to hurry and get in front of somebody and then have somebody hit her. So anyway, that's where we're at with the driving situation. And I cannot tell you guys how excited I am for her to have her license. It's bittersweet, right? I'm excited because of her schedule this year. I don't think I could do it long term. So every other day I have to leave home in the middle of the day. So I take her to school and drop her off. I come back home. I'm home for 2 hours. I go back down to the school that she's at, take her to another school, go to the gym while she's at that school, go pick her back up and bring her home. And then she has to go to the barn, and she's got work, and there's just all these things, right? So I will be glad to not have to do that anymore, because it is making it really difficult for me to work any sort of normal schedule. I do this for a living, as you all know. We've talked about this before. And so I do have commitments. I have responsibilities. If I don't put videos up, then I don't make any money. And I have to earn a living doing this. So that part has been challenging, because it's like I'm working in 2-hour increments. That being said, this morning, I'm recording this on Friday before you're watching it, but we were on our way to school. She wanted to drive her truck. She does have a truck. And so I said, okay, you can drive your truck. And I ride with her. And on the way to school this morning, I thought to myself, in a couple of weeks, I won't be doing this anymore. And I will never have to do it again. And there's something incredibly bittersweet about that. There are some of the best conversations we've had is in the car. And the time I have spent with her driving, or even before she was driving, doing stuff with her, going places with her, I just hope that there's still a part of her that still wants to be with mom, And I know that there's going to be a time period probably where she really is feeling that independence and doesn't want to do anything with me, because it's like, oh my gosh, I get to go do this by myself. And there's a coming of age thing with that. But I only have one child. So for me, there's nobody behind her. I'm starting to feel that empty nest feeling. And I saw this meme the other day, and I actually sent it to her. It was a reel, actually, on Instagram. And it was a picture of a mom making a kid's bed. And it said, when you're a freshman, meaning a freshman in college, if your mom wants to make your bed, let her. If your mom wants to leave a teddy bear on your pillow, let her. If your dad wants to inspect the bed or inspect something in the room where you're going to be sleeping, let him. And it just really hit me, because it was wow, there's going to be this point where she just doesn't need us anymore in the same capacity. And it is going to be difficult. And I know so many of you have already walked through this stage of your life. And I would love to hear from you as to how some of the things you did to deal with or cope with the change. I personally, all of my friends have multiple kids, and family members. So they're not feeling any of these things yet. They have an older kid who might be at the same stage as Macy, but they have multiple or one or more kids behind them. So I feel like they don't feel that sting yet of empty nest. And I still have a couple more years, but I feel like her getting her license is that first step towards real independence, which I am happy for. I want her to be independent. But at the same time, there is this aching that you feel for wishing you could do it all again, wishing you could do it all better. Ooh, I'm going to get teary. Whew. I wish I would have been able to hear people who said, soak in every moment, be present. When they're young and you're raising them, you're just surviving, I feel like sometimes, or at least I was. I was not a natural born mom. I had to work at it. The maternal thing did not come natural to me. And I don't think women talk about that very much because it's almost like you're a bad mom if you say that. But for me, it's the truth. It didn't come natural and I had to work at it. I've done a good job though. I worked at it and I have put in a lot of effort at being a good mom and being the kind of mom I felt like Macy deserved. And I think in the big scheme of things, she's never going to be able to look back and say, my mom wasn't there. My mom didn't help me. My mom didn't listen to me. I mean, I've been here. I've done all the things. So that makes me proud and happy. But oh boy, guys, I'm just in it. I'm in it right now. So I appreciate any tips or wisdom you have for me if you've walked this road already. And I don't want to diminish moms who maybe have a kiddo on their way out and have kids behind them. I know it's still painful. I'm just saying it's not empty yet, right? So if you want to see other videos from me, click either one you see here. Click the circle to subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video and a little catch-up story time. We'll have a better one later. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.